Hey, Becca C. Smith here, and today I am talking about my experience with rapid releasing. This is a collab with the amazing Emily Bourne. So if you'd like to check out her experience with rapid releasing, her video will be linked down below, as well as her channel. So check that out. And what's crazy is that we coincidentally, I swear it wasn't planned, we actually rapid released our books around the same time period. I think it started in October of 2020 all the way to her latest release, which was February of 2021. I first want to say that I have nothing against rapid releasing. It absolutely works for some people extremely well. Some writers literally use the system to make their living, and they make a good living doing it. I mean, let's face it, I was actually trying it to see if it would work for me. So this is something that is not a secret. It is just something that people talk about a lot, and the people that are successful at it are really successful at it. But spoiler alert, it really didn't do much for me in terms of how much I make on a release, where it's 6 months, a year after my last release. I consistently make around the same amount of money and get around the same amount of downloads whenever I release a book. So the rapid releasing 4 books, each one every month, didn't change my sales any. There wasn't a magic algorithm that just picked me up and then woo, suddenly I was making a ton of money. That did not happen. And I don't think it happens for a lot of people. I think it used to happen. I still don't think it would happen for everybody all the time. No, I don't think there's a magic algorithm for anything. I think there is an algorithm, and I think if you're lucky enough to somehow get into it, that's amazing. But you don't have any control over that. And maybe in the past, rapid releasing helped with that. And so that's why people started doing it, because I have noticed a lot of the people where it works really well for them, they've been doing it a while. Not to say that it still doesn't work for brand new authors. It absolutely can, because again, it is random. So if you're lucky enough to get in that algorithm, you are golden. I was not lucky enough to get into that algorithm. But let's break down what I released and when I released it. Hina and I came out with our series. Now, to be fair, we had already published the first 2 books 6-7 years ago. This was sort of a reboot because we finally finished the 3rd and last book. And so we figured we'd get them re-edited professionally. We would do new covers, we knew new titles, everything new, and then we were going to rapid release them. So to be fair, we didn't kill ourselves trying to write these books all at once and then release them. We actually had already written the first 2 books. So really this was about our 3rd and final book being released. And we thought the best way to maybe get more attention to that 3rd book would be to rapid release. So it was 3 books in the Love and Dark series. Vessel was October 15th, 2020. Firstborn was November 15th, 2020. And the 3rd and final book, Gutian Code, was December 15th, 2020. And then I released the 4th book of my own, Geraldine's Alley, and that was January 15th, 2021. So boom, 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 4 months in a row. And really with our trilogy, we thought they would be ideal because the most success we had seen in rapid releasing had either been from romance genre and from like YA paranormal, that kind of genre. And ours was both. It's a YA romance paranormal. It is graphic. There are trigger warnings, but those are in the description on Amazon if you are interested. We thought the series was a good contender for rapid releasing. We set up our Amazon ads and our freebie listing sites, and I do that for all my other normal releases as well, but I just wanted to do everything that we could to hopefully draw attention to the book. And what I found was that instead of growing sales with each new book, we would get less and less. Now there There could be many reasons for this. One, we didn't have enough awareness. Essentially, we couldn't really run competitive ads because Amazon ads and most ads really are a bidding system. So if someone outbids you, they're going to get a better spot than you. And with our limited marketing budget, we just couldn't get those prime spots. Two, people read the first one or read the first chapter of the first one and it wasn't their cup of tea. This absolutely happens. We are not offended. Three, we released them too fast. I know this goes against rapid releasing, but the thing is that sometimes I know for me, like I know some people can read, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 books in a month. I only can read before I go to bed. That's the only time I have to sort of read. And sometimes I read, 3 or 4 chapters, and sometimes I read 5 pages and I'm zonked out. So it can take me a while sometimes to finish even one book. So when you're asking people to read the first book in a month, and then the second book in the month, and then the third book, it's just like, I think that's asking a lot for people to do that. Now, the argument being that you're not expecting them to read all 3 books one month after another. And it's really just about getting the books out there so that then you can build your audience and you can build on that trilogy. And that is a valid, and I'm actually grateful that we released them like that. Because, like I said, they had already been published, the first 2, for the last 7 years. It was really nice having the new, freshened versions up, the new covers, and edited by Enchanted Ink Publishing, who are amazing and will edit all of my books from now on. And, it was just really nice to have the confidence that I don't feel that we had before. And then they were all out. So now we could just put all of our advertising and social media and ads and everything into the first book, because then people would buy the second and third, which is why we have been doing, the freebie listing sites about once every other month with Vessel, the first book. And that has really helped our sales for the second and third book. So, but again, that is something that I do with Riser. It is something I do with Atlas. It is something I do with my Alexis Tappendorf series. So this is not anything new or unique to rapid releasing. The only thing that makes the rapid releasing unique is that you can get all 3 books out all at once, and then you can sit back and just market. But in terms of those 3 months that we were coming out with the books, it was exhausting. Like, we were exhausted because we couldn't even enjoy the moment of each book release because we were on to the next. Some people thrive in the whole on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, and that's awesome because it totally works for them. But I have realized more and more, because I thought I was one of those people, I've realized more and more, and maybe it's getting older, it doesn't serve me. It actually affects my health, it affects my attitude, it affects so much that I am enjoying now, even in the writing process, let alone the publishing process, which is just enjoy the ride. Have fun telling the story. This is why I became a writer in the first place, is because I love telling stories. There was no reason for me to rush it. And again, to be fair, we had written the first 2 books, so we didn't rush all 3 books at once. We had actually spent a year working on the 3rd book. The writing aspect felt nice and relaxed and good and creative. We got to feed, back and forth, and then betas, and this whole process we were able to do at a slower pace because the first 2 books were already done. But if we had decided to write all 3 books at once, I think we would be going nuts, because it was a lot doing the release of 3 books. If I had added the writing of 3 books on top of that, I don't know if I could have done it. And I can't speak for Hina, but we always have this comparison that I'm the hare and she's the tortoise. So if I, the hare, didn't want to or couldn't do it, then I would think that the tortoise, the sweet, sweet tortoise, wouldn't want to do it that way as well. Another plus to rapid releasing, though, is the fact that if you don't have a library, Like if you only had, like Hina had one book out, in 3 months, she now had 4 books out. And that is a huge advantage for an indie author, at least, because then it gives more opportunity for people to buy your book. So yes, there are definite advantages, especially to newer authors, for rapid releasing. For me, it just put too much stress. I was way too much stress, and it's self-induced stress. So it's almost like pointless stress. Because I was doing it to myself. Now the 4th book that came out a month after the 3rd book was Geraldine's Alley. Now that was actually an experiment, and I did the 90-day, I wrote, edited, all that thing, video of Geraldine's Alley, and that was going on while we were releasing these books. So again, that could have been a lot of extra stress because I was trying to get all of this other stuff done with Geraldine's Alley at the same time that we were releasing 3 books in 3 months. It was essentially the 90 days that I was working on Geraldine's Alley were the 90 days that we were releasing the Love and Dark series. Question is, would I rapid release again? Honestly, I'm not sure. And those are for the reasons that I talked about before. I didn't get to fully enjoy and celebrate the release. I feel like Hina and I actually celebrated after the 3rd book, because then it was like, it's done. We finished. Now we can just market, which is a whole other... It's a lot, but it's a task. It's something that we can do. It's something we can focus on. It doesn't involve all the lead up and the publishing and the getting everything ready and getting everything right and getting it, going through the proofs and going through everything. It was done. And that was a huge relief when it was finished. So again, that's also a plus side to rapid releasing, because once you have that trilogy out, you're done. You're like, all right, it's finished. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about trying to, write and edit the next one. It's done. And so that was when we actually celebrated. It was hard to celebrate on the 1st and 2nd book releases because we knew we had another one coming. So it really, really is up to you. Like, what do you enjoy? Because I know people who love the race. They love writing 10K days, and they thrive on it. Like, it's not stressful for them. And I think for people like that, rapid releasing is perfect. It took me a long time to realize that I am not that person, because I thought I was that person. I still do sometimes. I still kind of forget, and I go like, I'm going to do, like last week I was like, I'm going to do 5K a day, and I did it for like the first 4 days, and then I was just like, what are you thinking? Like, my digestive system went crazy, and it is not good for my health. And I have to accept that, because there is something very exciting about having something done and completed and in front of you and put out into the world. And it's just like, when you come up with an idea, you just want to share it and you just want it to be out there. So I feed off that energy so much. So I completely understand it, which is why I wanted to try it. And if you are the kind of person that loves that, then it is perfect for you and you will enjoy it. But if you like to take your time, or not even like to take your time, or just because of work or whatever, it takes time because you don't have the time. That's okay too. All our journeys are different. All we want to do as writers is tell stories and put them out there for people to read. And whichever way you choose, whether it's indie or traditional, then that's the way you have to do it, because that's what's right for you. But thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to check out Emily Bourne's video linked below about her experience with rapid releasing. And I will see you in the next one.